So don't worry about the blood moon, and I don't really think any of you were. I just had to vent about that because that really makes me mad. Another story that makes me mad. And I guess it really shouldn't make me mad, but this was one of the requests I've been getting. What are Jewish swim lessons? What are Jewish swim lessons? It took me a while to find it, and after my success of finding about English travel and the Bell Ray Surge and the Despair Code, I'd been pretty much batting 1,000 up until this. And I did find it, so I mean, I guess that's okay, but it was okay. So the Jewish swim lessons is 3 little words. It's on the conspiracy chart. It can be traced back to a poll thread on 4chan. So that's the politically incorrect board. So you can kind of see where this is going. It should be kind of implied with the Jewish swim lessons, but I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. Because I couldn't say anything this stupid myself. While in the Poconos, I noticed camp after camp were Jewish. Over 70% by my sincere estimation in Northeast Pennsylvania are Jewish. I started pondering what the reason was, because Jews do not seem to be very interested in normal outdoor sports, nor do they seem to spend their resources very often on amusement parks and things along those lines. Okay, disclaimer, I don't believe that Jews have a problem with outdoor sports. That's a weird stereotype. I think that's someone who's never met Jewish person. Don't they have Olympic teams? Actually, I know they have Olympic teams because one of them got shot up in Munich. But anyway, so according to him, not me, according to him, Jewish people do not like sports, even though they play every single sport available. So he goes on, and so he comes to that conclusion. First off, he's like, all these camps are Jewish, like 70% of the kids in these camps are Jewish. And why? Jewish kids don't like sports. What's going on? Okay, so I get it. It's a stereotype, whatever. Now he has that conclusion. Now we're going to go into the next step. I was then telepathically connected to a Hasidic Jew. That is one sentence I thought I would never read. Okay, he continues. I started asking questions. I suppose you are programming the children there. He mentally nodded. Yes. How somebody mentally nods. Okay. Okay, so back to the letter. I continued. I suppose at some point that you sacrifice a child there, program them, and then lock it in with sexual abuses thereafter by the staff. He stated something along the lines of, bingo. I asked how could I catch them in this. The response was that the ritual sacrifice must be real or maybe operating in a virtualized state, yet the sexual abuse is often real. I suppose that they refer to these camps cryptically when they talk about camps, and people presume they are referring to the Holocaust. So I guess now okay. So now he's saying that whenever they talk about... I guess now he's saying that whenever they talk about Nazi death camps, they're actually referring to camps in Northeast Pennsylvania, apparently. Holocaust, if you don't know, is a derogatory term for the Holocaust, because these people claim that the Holocaust never happened. And then he goes on to say, interestingly enough, the solution may be to camp out on these camps from the beginning to the end with cameras in the trees that can monitor the camps for any group programming sessions. So what we have here, I'm assuming this is a man. I think people generally assume that when people are online are their same sex that they are. But I'm going to assume this is a guy. So what this guy is saying is that he realized that 70% of the people who go to the camps in his area are Jewish. Then he is hanging out at his house or walking down the street or doing whatever, and he hears a Hasidic Jew. He hears a Hasidic Jew in his head saying, well, actually, no, he starts asking questions. So imagine that you're hanging out, and then all of a sudden you hear a voice in your head, and somehow you're able to determine its ethnicity and religion. The first thing you do is start asking questions about, hey, what are you doing with kids in those camps? And then it mentally nods yes to your questions, and then you ask, and it's like, well, we kill them, but we don't really kill them, but the sexual abuse is real. And this guy's having this whole conversation in his head, and then he decides the next step is to go to these camps and install cameras all around the camp to record young boys and girls in the woods. That's Jewish swim lessons. Because they're at the camp and they're engaging in swimming and, I don't know, lacrosse and making bracelets to send back home. This is where Googling those 3 words led me to the rantings of an obviously mentally ill and racist man. These swim lessons are used to program children. Here's my question, actually. Why would they do it to, if the Jewish people in his mind, not in mine, I have to keep distancing myself from that. If the Jewish people in his mind are torturing kids, why would they do it to other Jewish kids? That doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you do it to people that you felt were unworthy? I mean, I guess like Catholic priests molest Catholic boys, but they're not trying to program them or necessarily torture them. They're just trying to get their rocks off. This is supposedly some ritual thing. And I'm going to say right now, this isn't true. None of this is true. I hope that goes without saying. But it's like, what's the point? And this question gets asked all the time. I've seen it online. People have asked me about the show. Hey, do Jewish swim lessons. Do Jewish swim lessons. I found it. It's ridiculous. It's made up. It's very racist. And this guy is out there putting cameras up in trees. And he actually gives you links to find Jewish camps in Pennsylvania. So you can be part of his underground resistance against the quote-unquote swim lessons that are really used to program these kids. So out of this guy's post, it's posted January of 2017, so over a year ago. Out of this post came Jewish swim lessons on the conspiracy board. Out of this guy's rantings, it's now been solidified as a legitimate conspiracy theory. But I hope I was able to shed a little bit of light on it for you, because you'll see people go, hey, what's Jewish swim lessons? And now, what do? You can share my link and say, this is what it is. It's the rantings of an idiot. Not the podcast host. Well, he's kind of out of it too, but it's the rantings of this idiot on this board. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.